You're welcome to DBA TV, where we discuss everything international trade. In this series, you are going to be learning about what each of the Nigerian states have to offer as far as export is concerned. I have maintained that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars and that they can be self-sufficient, but because a number of governors comes in with not the intention of generating income, but with the intention of sharing the money. But in this particular episode, we have put together a series of video for all the Nigerian states from Abia to Zamfara, and this to enable the new governors that are coming in, or the new administration in different states of the country, to be able to take a cue from what we've shared in this video, which, by the way, covers the peculiarity of each state apart from the preamble. It talks about the profile of the profit, of the debt and income of the state. It talks about the potential of the state. It talks about the purchaser of the product the state have to offer, and of course, the exportable product, and also the proposal we have for the state, and how the state can directly profit from exporting raw materials, manufactured goods, solid minerals, and agri-commodity. I believe this will be of interest to you and maybe to your governor or to commissioner, whoever it is in your state. Thank you very much for joining. Enjoy yourself as you learn through what maybe your state is what we are looking at today, what Nigerian state have to offer. Happy listening. Thank you very much. Preamble. And this basically covers why Benue must export. Benue should export because it makes the state to avoid over-dependence of federal allocation. Benue should export because it will help them to boost the GDP of the state. Benue should export because export creates opportunity for the SME in the state to grow. Benue should export because it makes the businesses in Benue not to depend on local market, not to rely only on domestic market. Benue should export because it helps the state to earn proceeds and grow income of the state. And when I say Benue should export, I mean Benue as a state, together with businesses in Benue. Export also can help the state to make farming and rural life become more lucrative. By the way, we are dealing with the food basket of the nation. Export can make the state to gain global market share and recognition. Export can make Benue the home of creativity and innovation. Export could be an industrialization catalyst for Benue State. Export will help the state in job creation and poverty eradication. It helps the state to know the value of what the state has as competitive advantage. Export will make the state to live for other states to follow. Export will make the state to be independent of federal allocation. Export will make the businesses in the state to enjoy numerous incentives from the government. It's also an opportunity for the people of the state to maximize their indigenes abroad. It's a poverty eradication tool. It can help the state to quit the league of states depending on wasting assets like oil. It's a tool to revive the economy of the state. It can slow down rural-urban migration, create tax-free incentive for the state, help in the utilization of idle capacities of the companies in the state. It also helps us to know that the state is viable. How can you say a state is not viable? A state that has land, that has people. A state that can grow and farm. And someone is saying it's not viable. Export is a wealth creation opportunity for the state. You can help the state to exploit the potential of products found in the state. The state can, the people, the business of the state can learn more for more improvement of competition, and of course, zero in on the area of strength. Focus on their area of strength. So what do you see in Benue today? I don't know if you are from Benue. What do you see in Benue today? People often see unemployment, and I will show you the data that confirm the unemployment level in Benue State. So there's unemployment, of course. You can choose to focus on poverty in the state. You can choose to focus on the frustration in the state. What do you see in the state? This state have a huge opportunity for farming. In fact, Benue State calls itself food basket of the nation. That is very instructive. That is very instructive. Food basket of the nation. Why? Because of the enormous farm produce coming out of the state. Yet, this state is depending on federal allocation from Abuja. There are opportunities also in mining, even though the state calls itself food basket of the nation, but I must tell you, Benue had a huge opportunities in mining. And you'll see them shortly. And of course, opportunities in the population of the people that reside in this state. Opportunities in the population of people that reside in the state. All right. What are the peculiar things about this state? Benue was created in 1976 by General Murtala Mohammed, one of the 7 states created by military administration headed by General Murtala Mohammed. The state derived its name from the river Benue, which is the 2nd largest river in the country and reputed to have the largest fresh water reserve in Nigeria. The state has border with Nasarawa in the north, Taraba in the east, Cross River in the south, Enugu in south to the southwest, and Kogi to the west. It also shares international boundaries with the Republic of Cameroon to the southeast. Nicknamed the food basket of the nation, as a result of the competitive advantage in agriculture, the state produces 70% of Nigerian soya beans. Wow. And is the largest producer of fruit concentrate and cassava in Nigeria. The state derived its name from River Benue, like we said, and 2nd largest in Nigeria. Located in the Middle Belt, occupied 3,059 square kilometers. The capital is Makurdi. It has 23 local governments. It has about 6 million people located in rainforest and greeny savanna region. What are the major crops from Benue? Yam, rice, beans, cassava, potato, maize, soybeans, sorghum, millet, cocoa, sesame, melon, groundnut, tomato. On the solid mineral side, kaolin, limestone, barite, gemstone, gypsum, feldspar, wolframite. There are 3 agricultural zones in Benue. The northern zone comprises of Makurdi, Buruku, Gwe West, Boko, Guma, East, Gwa East, and Takra. I hope I'm pronouncing it very well. Local government area. Central zone comprises of the Ado, Obi Agatu, Ogbadibo, Opuku, Oju, and Otukpo local government. Now, opportunity, according to NIPC, opportunity available in this state are in agribusiness, small-size manufacturing, healthcare, tourism, energy, and mining. So let's look closely into this state. Let's look closely into this state. It has a competitive advantage in yam production, in kaolin and limestone. It has the longest stretch of river system in Nigeria, largest producer of fruits, paddy rice, sesame seed, cassava, and soya beans. Largest producer of fruit, paddy rice, sesame seed, cassava, and soya beans. All year green vegetation with animal husbandry. So my question to Benue is this: why will Benue IGR be 17.9 billion naira, but his budget is 114, almost 100 billion deficit? Then they have to rely on Abuja to get the remaining. But look at what Benue is producing. If you look at what Benue alone is producing, Benue alone cannot just feed Nigeria, it can generate income that federal government will even need to run the government. With the opportunity available in this state called Benue, but unfortunately, somehow, this state is not just getting it right. This state is not getting it right at all. And in my opinion, it's because of the bad manager handling that state. Look at this. Unemployment in this state is 43.52%. Underemployment, unemployment 11.98%. And I've told you before that underemployment does not mean the person is gainfully employed. Underemployment means the person is not working 8 hours a day, irrespective of what is paid. So underemployment is about what is not about how much the person is paid, as much as it's about the fact that the person does not have work. He's not working 8 hours a day. Profile. If you call it debt profile, you're very correct. Income profile, you're very correct. Can you see IGR as a 2020 to be 10.46 billion? 2020. Federal allocation, 58.6. So what do? Go borrow. Go borrow. Go borrow. The domestic debt, 126 billion. Foreign debt, 32 billion. Foreign debt, 32 billion. So we are looking at about more than almost 160 billion in debt for a state that is food basket and has what it takes to export and generate income from food that it produces, or food that is produced in the state. Look at the IGR. The IGR is 15%. Federal allocation is 84.5%. Wow. Benue cannot survive without Abuja. And look at the operating expenses also. Almost 70% is operating expenses. So little on capital expenditure. So little on capital expenditure. But this is a state that should be full of different factories for agro-processing. This is a state that should be full of different factories for agro-processing. But that is not the case. Why? Bad managers. Bad managers. Look at the comment of budget on Benue. Budget said Even though this state is called the food basket of the nation, the state is unable to translate its agricultural fruitfulness to physical fruitfulness. I like that. The state is unable to transfer or transform or translate its agricultural fruitfulness to physical fruitfulness. The state fell from 32nd position to 34 in physical performance ranking. This fall may be traceable to changes in Benue capital expenditure, changes in Benue capital expenditure. The state required expenditure fell by very minimal level. With a huge overhead cost. Turning the spotlight to capital expenditure, was observed that the Benue state have experienced negative growth. This decline is in actual capital expenditure translate to 1,298 per capita per person in the state. Perhaps more disturbing, despite COVID, is the fact that the state spent 8 times more on recurrent. The bulk of spending on recurrent expenditure went to personal emolument, overhead costs, which is 92.8%. Sharing. In terms of the sectoral allocation, the economic sector received the highest allocation of 8.10, meaning that the sector took 96.42 of the state entire capital expenditure. Benue State had one of the worst IGR performance. 10.46 billion, worst IGR performance. But this state could have the highest export proceed income for the state, the highest. You know, the election is coming next year. It's an opportunity to ask questions again. And it's very good the way people are trooping to INEC office to do registration, to have their PVC, to be able to vote those that will be able. Look, I will build schools, I will build road, I will give money to the aged, I will build hospital. For me, those are crap. You are going to see that money is going to come, you are going to build. Anybody can do that. Can we begin to change the conversation and the question we ask them in the campaign to how will you generate money without taxing the already poor people? How will you generate money without taxing the already poor people in your state? How will you generate money without taxing the already poor people in your state? Those are the questions you'll be asking. How will you be creative in generating more money? Those are the questions we'll be asking these governors. Don't tell me you're going to come and build. Is it just to award contract? What does it take to award a contract? You have the money, you get someone that can do the job, you give him the money, he does the job. That's not work, that's not governance. Can we begin to have a conversation around how the money is generated, how the income is generated, and how much job is created, rather than what you will do with the money you were receiving without working for it? Rather than what you will do with the money you were receiving without working for it. Potential of Benue State. Potential of Benue State. Potential of Benue State. Benue State is an acclaimed nation food basket because of its rich and diverse agricultural produce, which include rice, yam, beans, cassava, potato, maize, soya, sorghum, millet, cocoyam, name it. The state also accounts for 70% of Nigerian soya beans production. It boasts of one of the longest stretch of river system in the country. Is it about boasting or about maximizing the river? With great potential for viable fishing industry, dry season farming, through irrigation, and for an inland waterway through irrigation for an inland waterway, sorry. In the area of industrialization, the state government spearheading industrialization of the state by setting up several industries, including Taraku Mill Limited, Benue Brewery Limited, Benue Bond Brick Limited, Benko Roof Tiles and Agro Millers Limited, of which it remained some of the holdings which are gradually being privatized. That's exactly my issue with the government. Setting up a business for the government rather than partnering with the private sector to support the private sector to grow income and share the income with them, providing enabling environment, rather than setting it up for the state. Rather than setting it up for the state, let the private sector run it, you have the largest share there, and you'll be able to generate income from what the private sector is doing, leveraging on the people of the state and the resources of the people in the state. This state is blessed with abundant mineral resources. These include limestone. These include gypsum. Limestone, gypsum, anhydrite, kaolin, natural gas, salt, petroleum, lead and zinc, barite, clay, coal, gemstone, magnetite. Of this, only limestone, Niagboko, and kaolin are being commercially exploited. Let's go over the agricultural products again. Yam, rice, beans, cassava, potato, maize, soya beans, sorghum, millet, cocoyam, sesame seed, melon, granite, tomato. And these are exportable products that this state is producing. Kaolin, limestone, barite, gemstone, gypsum, feldspar, wolframite. Now, purchasers. Let's now look at the potential market for this product and who are those that will be able to buy. Look at rice, for example. Benue produce rice. The rice market is $24.7 billion in the world. And the buyer within Africa include Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Senegal, Ghana, Kenya, Egypt, Togo, Angola, Guinea. I didn't mention Benin Republic because majority of Benin imported end up in Nigeria. Benin that is not up to Lagos is importing more than South Africa, is importing more than Egypt, is importing more than Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, other countries that are bigger than itself. Of course, the food is entering Nigeria. Iraq, Iran, China, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, Turkey, Oman, Jordan, Nepal, United States, Canada, Mexico, France, Germany, Italy. Within African continent, we have a $6 billion market for rice. Benin Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Cameroon, Ghana, Senegal, Egypt, Togo, Kenya, Angola, Mozambique, Guinea, Madagascar, Djibouti, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Niger are all importer of this product on the African continent. Can we move further? Let's move further and see China. So and see sesame seed, 3.45 billion. Who are the importer? China. About 30% of its sesame seed is imported by China. China, Japan, Turkey, India, South Korea, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Greece, Egypt, United States, Mexico, even in Africa, even though the market is small, Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Ghana, and Togo, $167 million. Look at soya beans, for crying out loud. Do you know that soya beans market alone, if you combine all that Nigeria imports, the total market of cocoa, cashew, ginger, gum arabic, sesame seed, these are hibiscus flower, these are major items that Nigeria imports. If you combine all of them together, I tell you, if you combine all of them together, they are not up to $20 billion. One product of which Benue produce 70% of it in Nigeria. Just one product. Just one product. 55.2 billion. You know, one of the drivers of the demand for these products in the world has been attributed to the fact that these products, soybeans, is having a huge demand because a number of countries, like China, even in US, are now using soybeans as a substitute for some hydrocarbon-based products, from tire to gum to polymers, a number of them. And you know, because it's from soybeans, it is biodegradable. And considering the fact that we are talking green environment, green energy, green this, green that, we are talking about environmental sustainability, all this is making different countries to look for new ways of still able to produce what we use, but from other sources of raw materials. And soybeans, incidentally, happen to be one of those raw materials that has come very handy in helping scientists to solve that problem. Majority of these soybeans is going to China, and they are buying from North and South America. But Nigeria produce, but we're not earning so much from it. I've tried to investigate this some time ago. I realized that our yield per hectare is very low. And because our yield per hectare is very low, it will be very tough to be able to make it a success in Nigeria. So it becomes very important and necessary to increase our yield per hectare. I think the agronomists will let us know the fact that we need to use an improved variant, and of course, improve on our farm practices. In Africa, the demand is very low, 1.7, very, very low. Egypt leading, taking a 3%, then Tunisia and Algeria. How about granite? $3.19 billion. Remember, $1 billion is 600 billion naira in Nigeria. $1 billion. This state, for example, the budget of the state is about 100 plus. I'm not sure the budget of the state is more than up to 150 billion naira. So some few hundreds of millions will help the state. Yes, Solomon, you are very correct. That's exactly what I'm saying. The price of soybeans in Nigeria is higher than international market. The price of soybeans in Nigeria is higher than international market. The price of soybeans in Nigeria is higher than international market. Because our cost of production is high. Granite, 3.19 billion. Indonesia, China, Vietnam, Thailand, Netherlands, Mexico, Canada, United Kingdom, Spain. In Africa, $171 million demand. Algeria, South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Libya, Morocco, Egypt, Ghana, Mauritania, Tunisia, $171 million. Corn. Now, Nigerian government said we are not supposed to export corn So if the state want to leverage on this, imagine the corn market at 6.3 billion. In Africa, it's about 3.73, but you are not allowed to export corn in Nigeria. And the reason basically is because of demand in the local market by different factories. So if the state wants to export it, you will definitely need permission from the government. Maybe take it out of the prohibited list. From Japan to South Korea, Vietnam, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, Mexico, Egypt, Colombia, Peru, and Canada. And on the African scene, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, South Africa, $3.73 billion. So here is my proposal for Benue state government. Currently, in many states of the Federation, SME is the one driving production, primary production, harvesting and transport, primary processing and storage, secondary processing and storage, marketing and logistics. In some cases, the same SME, in some cases, different SME. When SME is the only one operating in this kind of chain and you're thinking of export, what you get is inefficient value chain operator, low processing capacity and low output, few job creation, low quality and packaging, high cost of production, and non-competitive products in the export market. But when you change the dynamics, with SME1 being the one producing, SME2 buy from him and take it to a location where the product will be packaged and processed and packaged for him in his brand name. So he worry more on the marketing and sales, logistics and distribution in the export market. SME1 worry more on the production, harvesting and transport. Then the large corporate is the one that do primary processing and storage, secondary processing and storage. When we do this, we have an efficient and very cost-effective value chain operator. They have high processing capacity and high output, so they can produce more with good quality and packaging of product, low cost of production and competitive products in the export market. Because they have all the certification required, instead of everybody having the same certification, one factory have it and produce for everybody in their brand name and everybody go to different market to sell. Increase job creation, decrease inequality, and of course, if there's inequality, if job is created, inequality will reduce. If inequality reduce and job is available, obviously, insecurity will reduce. Insecurity will reduce. In order to support exporters in your state, in Benue, to enter the export market in Africa and Europe in a secure and sustainable way, the state can partner with representatives in destination, set up warehouses at destination, set up an entity at destination in form of agent or distributor, partner with independent agent and or distributor in the export market, organize and sponsor your manufacturer for exhibition, the manufacturer of the state for exhibition in the export market. How can the state profit directly also? Let's look at sesame seed. This state have 653,000 hectares. Let's assume the state use 50% to cultivate sesame seed, 50%. Look at what will happen. The agronomist told us yield per hectare of sesame is 1.2 metric tons. That means possible yield is about 659,000 tons from one state. From one state. At an FOB price of 1,075, which is even higher now, the state can export this product and generate $843 million. If you use official exchange rate, that's 350 billion naira. Remember, the budget of the state in 2022 is 155. So that means the state already make its budget from exporting sesame seed. The cost of farming, even though this might have changed from when we got this from agronomists, 60,000 per hectare. Now that the price has gone up, cost of farming plus profits, 58 billion naira. Cost of exporting, 39 billion. Cost of farming plus exporting, 98 billion. If you subtract that from 350, you still have 259. The state can share this money with the private entity working with them. The farmers have been paid. The state is literally buying this off their farmers. Look at the model. The state register a company with a private entity who will drive this process. The state provide fund, while the SPV provide expertise. This SPV form farmers into cooperative across the state. The SPV issue purchase order to farmers. So they gave farmer a purchase order. Go and process everything. We are going to buy from you at social price, and we're giving you a guarantee we'll buy from you. SPV provide training on input and support for farmers to ensure they produce the right quality. They have collection center across the state to collect the harvest. They clean and process sesame seed, put them in the bag, get buyers, do the shipment and documentation, present document for payment, receive payment from abroad, pay the farmers, and share the profit with the SPV that the state is working with. If the state does this, if the state is able to do this, it will impact the impact of the suggested model for state government goes beyond revenue generation via export. It has humongous impact on employment generation and increased economic activity in the state. This, in my opinion, is a more effective and efficient and enduring model for diversifying the economy of any state in Nigeria. This model can also be replicated by the federal government at the federal level, especially for the exportation of solid minerals. I thank you very much, everyone. See you next week and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.